Alright, so this video is reviewing comparing fractions, but it's not exactly going to be the same comparing fractions as our last video. So this time, we're going to compare more than two fractions. So we're going to compare three fractions, and we're going to order them from greatest to least. Obviously, greatest means the biggest fraction, and the least means the smallest fraction. So let's take a look at our examples. I'm going to do this one first for all of us. Let's take a look. We have 1/3, 1/4, and 1/2. So, in order to do this, I am going to draw my big fraction bar. This is a little bit too big. Okay. Alright, this is my big fraction bar. And I'm going to make three fraction bars. So go ahead and pause, take out a piece of paper, and follow along with me. So you are drawing this fraction bar with me. Okay, so my first fraction I'm going to do is 1/3. My second fraction is going to be 1/4, and my third fraction will be 1/2. And as we go along, I'm going to be thinking about which fraction is bigger than the other. So now let's start with a third. We know that the 3 is the denominator. And 3 is not an even number. This is one of the only fractions where you just kind of had to eyeball it. Alright, this looks just about even. Alright, let's do 1/4. For 1/4, we can easily split it down the middle, and then split each half in half. So this half, I'm going to split here, and this half I'm going to split here, which leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And for 1/2, obviously I can split 2 in half. Boom, down the middle. I have 1, 2 pieces. So let's go ahead and shade it. Okay, so 1/3, how many pieces should I shade in? Just 1. 1/4, 4. And 1/2, one of those two pieces. One of those two pieces. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, which fraction is the biggest? Well, that's pretty clear. 1/2. 1/2 is the biggest. So I'm going to order it from here, 1/2. And I'm going to write biggest right here. Just so I'm clear, biggest, and here I'm going to write smallest. Now, which one is the second biggest? Second biggest is 1/3. 1/3 is second biggest. I'm going to put 1/3. And the smallest, well, the smallest obviously is 1/4. 1/4 takes up the least amount of the whole. So now from biggest to smallest, I have 1/2, 1/3, and 1/4. Alright, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to order the fractions 3/4, 3/6, and 3/8 from biggest to smallest. From biggest to smallest. Get to work. Alright, so I've taken the liberty of creating our fraction bars for us. And our first fraction bar we're going to do is 3/4. Let me get that marker up. 3/4. Our second fraction bar will be 3/6. And our third fraction bar will be 3/8. So let's take a look. Our denominator for our first fraction is 4. And we know that 4 is an even number. So make sure you split it in half. And you split each half into halves. How many pieces should I shade in? 3. That's the numerator. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at our second fraction, 3/6. How many pieces should this fraction bar be split into? 6. So 6 is an even number. I'm going to split it in half. And then I'm going to split each half into thirds again. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many pieces should I shade in? 3. 1, 2, 3. Easy as that. And last but not least, I have 3/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my fourth lines. This all the way down the middle. This fourth line I'm going to copy down to here. This fourth line right here I'm going to copy down to here. And then now I'm going to split each piece in half. And how many pieces should I shade? Well, once again, it's 3. So I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3. Well, this was pretty handy, actually. So let's start ordering it from biggest to smallest. The biggest fraction is pretty clearly 3/4. It's right here. 3/4 is the biggest. Second one, 3/6. Oh my goodness. Is this going in order? And the smallest one is actually 3 out of 8, 3/8. So from biggest to smallest, 3/4, 3/6, 3/8. Please check your work. All right, now it's your turn. 1/6, 1/2, and 1/4. Go ahead and draw your own fraction bar and double check and make sure from biggest to least. Get to work. All right, we're back. So let's make this fraction bar happen. Let me get this down. Okay. And we need 3 because there's 3 fractions. All right, let's start with 1/6, 1/2, and then finish off with 1/4. Pretty easy. All right, 1/6, our denominator is at 6. And it's an even number, so we split it in half, and each half into thirds, leaving us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many pieces should we shade in? Just 1. All right, number 2, we have 1/2. That's pretty simple. We just split it right down the middle. There it is. And how many pieces should we shade in? Well, just one of those two. Just one of those two. Next, we have 1/4. So I'm going to copy that halfway mark, and then I'm going to split each piece in half. Boom, boom. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And how many should I shade in? Well, again, I have 1/4. It's really important that you make each piece super clear. I didn't do it so well on the 1/6, as you can see, which is why it's a little bit confusing. All right, so let's start with ordering them. Obviously, 1/2 is the biggest. 1/2 is the biggest. Okay. And what's next? Okay, so it's between 1/6 right here and 1/4 right here. Okay. 1/4 is a little bit bigger. 1/4 is a little bit bigger. So from biggest to smallest, I have 1/2, then my 1/4, and then finally my 1/6. Okay. And you can see that the denominators are going in order. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece. Biggest, smallest. Okay, check your work. All right, finally, your job is now to order these following fractions from greatest, that means biggest, to least, and that means smallest. You need to be doing this on a piece of paper. I need to see fraction bars. It is not okay just to be guessing. Number 1, 2/4, 2/6, and 2/8. Order them from greatest to least. Number 2, 1/3, 1/6, and 1/4. Order that from greatest to least. And number 3, 3/6, 3/4, and 3/8. Order those from greatest to least. Good luck.